name's Christine, and I just finished up Celeste's 5-week food relationship healing program. A little background about me. Prior to training for bikini competitions, I was an equestrian, so very much in a world where your image and your body image are very big. It was very centered around being as small as you can. And as I grew up, that was kind of what I was centered around. So right off the get-go, I had a very disordered relationship with food. And through this program, Celeste actually helped me go way, way back to when I was like in elementary school, remembering binging tendencies and some really almost shameful things that I had pushed way down and I did not want to remember. And so the program really forced me to come to light with a lot of why I am the way I am and why I react to certain triggers the way I do. Because after riding horses for so many years and being in an accident where I eventually had to retire due to injury, I got really depressed. And when I went off to college, my eating spiraled. I had anorexic tendencies for a really long time, dropped a lot of weight, finally went away to an outpatient therapy center while I was an undergrad because my mom wanted me to. Obviously, when you're younger, you don't really listen to what you need to do. You just kind of do whatever you want. And I did not take it seriously, and I did not take my mom seriously or my health. And so as I grew up and then I went to grad school, all of these tendencies and habits that I had that I just kept pushing down, ignoring, hiding, they all just came spiraling back up at any sign of stress, discomfort, you name it, grief. I lost my best friend in the middle of school, and all of these things just triggered emotional eating, disordered eating, binge eating. I was all sorts of out of control, and I did not know how to handle it. So when I found bodybuilding, I stumbled upon Celeste's podcast first off, and then I followed her on Instagram. And I would reach out here and there when she would post about her programs, and was really hesitant to dive into anything because if I dove in, well, then I'd be admitting I had a problem, and I was fine, obviously. And so maybe a couple months ago, I think it was in maybe April, I don't really remember. This is this year. And I remember because I was at a wedding, stressed out about what I was eating, stressed out about everything, where I kind of sat down with my coach. I was like, I think I'm going to reach out to Celeste. I keep reading about her programs. I was like, if I'm going to be prepping at the end of this year, I need to be in a good space mentally. And so she posted one of her Instagram stories like she always does. And I finally dove in and I messaged her and I was like, I want help. I need help. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I know I'm not doing a good job. And so I started working with her, and so much came to light. There were so many triggers and tendencies and things from when I was growing up that I did not even associate with why I was out of control mentally. And I honestly just can't thank you enough. To have the food freedom that I do now, where I can go out to eat with my boyfriend and not worry about tracking it. Or I can have a night where I don't need to worry about it and I don't feel the need to punish myself with cardio or working out or, those harmful tendencies that I had all through undergrad, all through grad school, and for most of my life, honestly, up until a couple months ago. So I really think, I know this program changed my life. I would be in the same spot that I was in if it hadn't been for reaching out to her. And it was terrifying to admit that I needed help. But she really put everything she had into helping me figure out how to help myself. And I don't know, I just feel like my future has a lot more in it now. Because when you're so wrapped up in that cycle of binge, hide, eat, restrict, the shame, the guilt, it's really draining and it's really difficult mentally. And you don't really have anybody you can talk to who understands what you're going through. And she gets it. She helped me. She talked me through it. She talked me off a ledge lots of times. And talked me through some binges where I was feeling kind of out of control. And by the end of the 5 weeks, I texted her. It was maybe 2 weeks after the program had ended. Quarantine was getting ready to start or had just begun, I guess. And it was a weekend where normally I'm out and about, but I was home all day surrounded by food. And I was just like, holy cow, I don't feel stressed about being home surrounded by all these snacks. I don't feel tempted to binge. I don't feel tempted to go off my plan. I was like, I have not felt like this ever. So if you're looking for that change and that motivation or inspiration to reach out and do something that's a little bit terrifying, it's so worth it. And she will literally change your life. I mean, she totally changed mine, and I would not be here feeling the way I'm feeling without Celeste. And I'm just so beyond thankful. So I love you and thank you.